Welcome back to Strawberry Ink. Tonight we travel to the most isolated place on Earth, Antarctica, the South Pole. We examine a death shrouded in a mystery, internal friction, and a chilling question. Was this an accident or was it the first murder at the bottom of the world? Rodney David Marks was a brilliant Australian astrophysicist, born in Greenlawn, Victoria, and educated at the University of Melbourne as well as the University of New South Wales. He carried out distinguished resumes and a specific passion, the stars of the southern sky. He even managed the complex challenges of Tourette syndrome while pursuing his work. In 2000, Rodney was wintering at the Amundsen Scott South Pole Station, an American run base deep in Antarctica. He was employed by the Smithsonian Astrophysical Observatory working on the AST/RO project, the Antarctica Submillimeter Telescope, and Remote Observatory. He was not alone in his isolation. His fiancée, Sanja Walter, was also overwintering as a maintenance specialist at the base, having taken the job just to be with him. Life was good. He was engaged, successful, and nearly finished with a critical academic project. The South Pole Station, run by the U.S. National Science Foundation, is a crucible of human interaction. 49 people locked down for the long, dark winter. On May 11th, 2000, Rodney Marks became suddenly and violently unwell while walking back to the base from his remote observatory. Over the next 36 hours, he grew increasingly distressed, returning 3 times to the station's doctor. They consulted with outside experts via satellite, but his condition was tragically undiagnosed. On May 12, 2000, at just 32 years old, Rodney Marks died. The whereabouts of the station doctor, Robert Thompson, are now unknown. The National Science Foundation quickly issued a statement that he had apparently died of natural causes, but the true cause would not be known until his body, held for nearly 6 months through the impenetrable winter, could be flown off the continent. In November 2000, the body was finally transported to Christchurch, New Zealand, the base for American Antarctica activities. The autopsy revealed the shocking truth. Rodney Marks had died from acute methanol poisoning. This finding immediately escalated the case from a medical mystery to a potential crime. The New Zealand Police, their national division, at the direction of the Christchurch coroner, began an investigation led by Detective Senior Sergeant Grant Warmold. Jurisdiction in Antarctica is complicated, but the death of an Australian on a U.S. base flown into New Zealand territory was enough to launch a full coroner's inquest. The idea of suicide was swiftly rejected. DSS Warmold stated it was not credible. Mark was happy, engaged, and had access to plenty of ordinary alcohol. He immediately sought treatment for an illness that confused him. The death was intentional and was a terrible mistake to most. Investigators then focused on three theories. Accidental ingestion. Marks unknowingly consumed methanol, perhaps thinking it was grain alcohol or a contaminant in an illicitly brewed drink, a common mistake with highly toxic results. It could have been a prank gone wrong. Someone tried to spike a drink, mistaken methanol, a common solvent, on the base for regular ethanol, resulting in an unintended but fatal consequence. Then lastly, deliberate homicide. One of the 49 people at the isolated station intentionally administered the poison to kill him. But to solve it, the investigators needed cooperation, and they hit a glacier of bureaucracy. Detective Wormald and the New Zealand Coroner's Court faced an enormous obstacle. The U.S. National Science Foundation and its contractor, Raytheon. The U.S. government does not accept New Zealand's claim to sovereignty over the Ross dependency where the base sits. The U.S. organizations effectively stonewalled the inquiry. Wormald stated they had not been cooperative, refusing to provide a full staff list or the results of their own internal investigation, which the NSF claimed did not exist. I am not entirely satisfied that all relevant information and reports have been disclosed. To make matters worse, station staff were allowed to clean Mark's room and dispose his belongings as trash immediately after his death, destroying vital forensic evidence, a crucial opportunity to find the vessel that had held the methanol. This vessel was lost forever. Wormald eventually obtained the list of 49 people in that base, the 49 that had been with Mark, but he suspected many were reluctant to speak, fearing for their future employment. The U.S. DOJ could not even compel the NSF to cooperate. The written report from the inquest, released in 2008, confirmed the worst fears. The coroner could not find evidence to support theories of a prank, foul play, or suicide. The fatal methanol poisoning remains a mystery. No suspect was ever publicly named nor charged. Rodney's father, Paul Marks, eventually gave up hope, stating, I don't think we are going to try to find out any more in regards to how Rodney died. I'd see that as a fruitless exercise. Rodney Marks was laid to rest after his body was repatriated. On Friday, November 24th, 2000, his funeral was held at the Holy Trinity Lutheran Church in Launceston, Tasmania, which is Australia, with services handled by the W.D. Rose and Son funeral directors. He was interred at the Carvilla Memorial Park in Launceston, though his resting place is sometimes misremembered, as he was buried later into a different place, the Bellabray Cemetery of Mount Dunedin, Victoria, Australia. Today, a mountain, Mount Marks, stands named in his honor, a lonely memorial to the brilliant scientist who died in isolation. His case is forever closed and cold, but his murder, though forever unsolved, will not be forgotten in strawberry ink. That's it for today's episode. Join us next time as we investigate. Take care and have a good rest of your day. May Rodney Marks rest in peace.